as a cucumber.
All right, everyone. We're here today on the Exit Way Roundtable. We're a little bit later than normal today, but we got it. We're here now, and Kathy Motlagh is with me. Glad to have you here today, Kathy.
Hello, Damon. Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you again for your patience. We did have technical difficulties today.
Yeah, but we got it. Yeah, and that's all that matters. That's really what, easy. In the whole scheme of things, it's a small thing.
That's the attitude.
Yeah, I mean, it is really. A while ago, I used to be one of those big stressor people, big worry and stress, and someone told me, I don't even remember who it was, but it was don't think about it if it's going to be a year out, and then if it's not going to matter in a year, don't worry about it.
What a great advice.
I mean,
you know what? We all can use that mindset.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where you just go, it changes the way that you can look at things. So Kathy, you've got an interesting thing. We talk about the power of authenticity. We've been talking about, I'm looking at your profile here on LinkedIn. You started Think Ventures with your sister a while ago now, and what really got you into this whole thing about Think Virtues and then the power of authenticity?
Filling gaps. Think Virtues is really about filling gaps, seeing what's out there, and what can we do to add value in people's lives, and working with authenticity. And we view virtues as who we are. Virtues are all of our strong character traits and all of our positive emotions. So it was a kind of a niche that was missing in human development. So it's about ethical and emotional literacy. And of course, authenticity is one of our most valued virtues.
Yeah. So I was watching some of the videos that you created with your sister, and some of the things that you worked with school age children. That's really interesting. So you've developed a system and a book too, and correct me if I'm wrong and kind of explain it, because it's really cool when you're starting to talk with children, younger school age children, about virtues and the things that, and I'm probably not using the right words, but I think it's really something, as you said, that's missing.
Oh yeah, it's virtues. Children are naturally virtuous. These virtues: love, compassion, empathy, kindness, confidence. This is what they're about. And when they are given the language and the practice of it, it's really empowering for them, and they become better friends. They're able to make friends more easily. They're able to connect better with their existing friends and family members. And also it helps them with their schoolwork, because part of the curriculum is about self-regulation and managing different stresses in children and all of our lives, really.
So now you touch on, what are some of the topics?
They're all life skill based, very practical things that children need. Like, for example, what do you do when all of your classmates are invited to a party and you're not, for example? These types of things that children inherently have to deal with. Or on the other side, how to be more inclusive and invite everybody to a party, for instance, or asking them to participate in various things, being kind and loving toward one another, being friendly, how to make friends, how to be more resilient when things aren't okay. Things of that nature, things that aren't typically, these are social emotional tools and abilities that aren't being taught in schools.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think, and this is not on the parents, but I don't think that a lot of us were ever taught these things.
Yeah, unfortunately not. That's why we came up with the program. And in fact, in our school community, the curriculum was around for 30 years before I even got introduced. I got touched by it because my children were in the program from age 4 and 6, and I actually raised both my sons on this, and they're now 14 and 16 and thriving.
Yeah.
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 It really helps kids become stronger, more confident, be able to have more meaningful connections with their friends and family members. And you really, as parents, that's what and also it gives them an inner knowing on how to make decisions, how to pick better friends for themselves, and do things and partake in activities that serve them best.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a big one. Picking good friends.
Absolutely.
That's a big one. And it's hard too, because some kids are, are very loyal, or they feel for, it could be they feel for somebody that's not, being included, and that person could be not being included for reasons that are not good. That's interesting though. That's an interesting one. So what have you seen? What have you seen and in your video, you talked a little bit about the parents too. You got some good positive response from parents on this type of educational help. What are some of the things the parents are saying about it?
They love it. We have a program for parents. It's called a Mentorship Toolkit, especially since post-COVID. It's proven to be really helpful to parents who have to deal with so many things, and on top of it, their children are at home. So this tool is really a coaching tool for parents, and it's most of the content is digital, but then we have coaching calls once a month. And in some cases twice a month, where we get online on a Zoom call with a community and really discuss our issues. What are we having difficulties with? And we share what's working, what's not working, because this is post-COVID. This is kind of a new waters that we're all new things that we're all experiencing, and we really draw strength from one another. In addition to having all kinds of little tools, the program includes family activities, all of which that can be done around the house, which is nice. Especially now. So it's really a nice tool that parents are enjoying with in this time, especially.
Yeah. So now, are the kids in schools where you're at?
Our school is open, but we and we obviously have the ability to do remote if we need to. A lot of kids in our community have grandparents or people in their families that are high risk. So there are we have that choice, but we really were proactive about this situation from the very beginning. We changed our entire ventilation system to keep things safe, and everybody wears masks, and we take temperatures, and we social distance, all that. We're doing all the right protocols, and since, knock on wood, since the beginning of school year, we haven't had any issues.
Really? That's great. That's great. That means your protocols are set up well, because I've got a friend of mine that is a manager at a manufacturing facility, and they've got 175 people outside of Seattle here. It's a ways outside of Seattle, but I am just amazed. They have not had any trouble with it as well. But I think it is in your procedures, and changing the ventilation system obviously helps a lot. Yes, well. But that's a testament to the fact that people are diligent, and they're really doing what they need to do.
Yeah, we've been fortunate too. We've been holding classes outside when we can.
Yeah.
So it's nice. It's been working, and it's nice that the kids get to interact. Even though they're wearing masks, they still get to be with their buddies, and it's nice.
Yeah, I saw some kids playing. It's been a couple of weeks ago now, but I saw them playing outside, and they all had masks on, and they were riding their bikes. To me, it just showed the kids are going to be really resilient. Man, they got to wear a mask. It's like, okay, Mom, I really don't want to wear it, or Dad, I don't want to wear it, but they'll wear it, and they'll do what they need to do, if that's what they got to do, to go outside and play.
Precisely. They do it. They just roll with it.
Yeah, they roll with it. They're doing it. And I thought that was awful cool because it literally was. There was 3 little kids just bucketing down the road, with their bikes. It was awesome.
Yep.
So, because at the end of the day, you mentioned one of the things that I think has got to be a real stressor for people is when you got little kids at home and you're trying to, you might be trying to work, they're trying to do school, and it's just, and then trying to keep everybody sane because you're not used to being in that close of quarters around everyone all the time.
Right. Precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely. There's a lot of pressure on parents. It's a difficult time on the entire family dynamic. And that's what we try to fill in and get help from experts, and as well as, help within our community. You'd be surprised how resourceful some of the parents are, and some of the things that we do. Just some of these activities that can be done around the house are such lifesavers for them.
Oh, yeah. 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 I mean, it just anything. I mean, the bringing back game nights and things like that. I think there's got to be a lot of popularity in just getting away from the digital and getting back into whatever you can that's not in front of a TV or a computer screen. And
this moral contemplation right now, the virtues contemplation for children and adults, it's such a great thing, we've all had, everything has changed. We've all had a opportunity to slow down and take a look at the big picture, what's important to us and why and how. And so these important topics are, everybody in the family loves the process, so it's nice.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, as you touched on, is that there are good things because of this, right?
Yes.
I think back to this, and our children are a bit older, and not living at home, but they came home when COVID hit here hard, and we got 4 months with them. Now, yeah, it was a little crazy, but you're not going to get that with 21-plus-year-old kids, and it's just really, really was special to be able to get those few months like that to do it. And we enjoyed it. Obviously we went a little crazy once in a while, but it's what it is. But that's time together that you never will get. So these parents that are, and I would think that with a smaller age, with a younger child, that's 5 to 12 years old, I know it's got to be just taxing as heck. But to get that time with those kids is absolutely incredible.
It's wonderful. Yeah, it's the silver lining, right? It's what we, this has happened. No one expected it, but it has. It's the situation we're dealing with. But one good thing is that families have come a lot closer together, which is awesome. I love seeing that.
Well, and then your virtues training, that has to help, because you're talking about being caring and loving and empathetic, or I'm not using the right word, living with empathy, or however you say it, and things like that really help that family unit become tighter.
Absolutely. And you're saying it perfectly. Yes, that empathy, using our empathy muscles, using our compassion muscles, virtues exercises are just like working out, working out our bodies. Now this is working out our minds and our ethics muscles. And so we want them to be there, confidence, courage, perseverance. These are all virtues that we need, and the more we work them, the readily they are available to us. And for kids, it's invaluable, because they get these tools on their belts and they become such amazing. They're already amazing anyway, but they become even more of, it enhances their ability to do all kinds of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can imagine, because that's so. When you originally think back to the original, did you get into this because of your sons and going into school, or what? I mean, what kind of sparked the whole thing?
Well, it all started right around the journey for me started right around year 2000, when I started to think about having kids. And I didn't have my first son until 2004, but I took a look around and I was like, this is not the direction that I wanted. I want to help us, humanity. I want to help humanity just reveal more of itself, become more connected and become more happy minded versus instant pleasure or instant gratification minded, and some of the other things that I was noticing. So I just wanted to help parents also to connect better. All kinds of these types of things came into my mind at the time. And of course, when I got introduced to the program through my son's being in the school, it was like, this is it. This is what's going to do it. This is what's going to bring humanity together.
That's something.
Yeah. You never know how life turns out. You never know what sparks what.
Exactly. And when you talk about, you bringing humanity together, I mean, God, is there anything bigger than that you just don't hear things like that often?
Well, I think that, but don't you think that it's starting to resonate? I think that everything has changed so much this year. In the beginning, we weren't getting as much of a reception. It wasn't registering as much, but now I think it's everybody. I think the world is ready for Think Virtues now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've come full circle, and I'm loving it. We love that we've created something that's helpful to people, that's enhancing and adding value to people's lives. And it's just wonderful working with all these wonderful people in different communities. I got to tell you, I've just been touched in so many ways by so many people.
Yeah. So were you doing most of your work in person before, and then you switched to virtual this year?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The calls, the mentorship toolkit calls were just phone calls. We all got on a conference call, and now we do everything on Zoom.
Yeah.
So that's actually been enhanced.
Yeah.
Because we were all on a phone call versus now we do it on Zoom. We get to see each other, and it's nice.
Yeah. That is the power of video is undeniable. That's for sure. Live video, being able to talk to each other like this is I honestly, I don't like to use the phone anymore. And even if we were on a video call, I would try to help someone get the video working just so I can see them when I'm talking to them.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. It's nice. It's been nice. And then of course the Power of Authenticity workshops, which, parents being touched by our work, they said, Kathy, you need to bring this work to corporations and adults. And that was a natural transition for me because I did so many of these on other realms. But so the Power of Authenticity has been fantastic also. And that was done in person. We did them in small groups of no more than 20. Minimum of 10 people, maximum of 20 in conference rooms. And now we do those on Zoom, and we do them with fewer people, 4 minimum, 8 maximum.
Yeah. So now let's talk about the power of authenticity. How is that different from your Think Virtues, and what do we talk about, and what are the subjects you cover in your Power of Authenticity training?
The Power of Authenticity is first of all, I have to commend people who want to participate on the work because it's incredibly intense. It's difficult to take a good look in the mirror and really decide that this is the change we all need to be the change we want to see in the world, and have it have this work be the one. So it's I have to commend all the people who participated, but it's designed to maximize human potential. It's leadership training. And we take you through what we call the 7 U's. It's a 12-week program, incredibly intense, but it's meant to reveal your authenticity and your sense of purpose, and which is grounded in your values. So it's a very, very rewarding work. It's intense and difficult, so it's not for everyone. It's for the courageous leader.
Yeah. Well, no, as you said, it's really hard to take that kind of look at yourself sometimes. And and you have to be ready to do it. I mean, it's not just a wake up one day and go, oh yeah, it's not like that. And
no, but with fantastic leaders, thought leaders like Simon Sinek, it's starting to occur people that finding your why is really an important thing. The way we look at it, we think that finding your why is important, but that's a secondary thing for us in this process. We first are interested in really taking a good look at who you are, who your authentic self is, and your purpose will occur to you, will come to you, and then all you have to do is just answer your calling. So it's really a cool, meaningful, deep process for a lot of people.
Yeah. So are you typically doing this with teams or leaders from different companies, or how is it usually being done?
Typically, the leadership, the top tier leadership starts with the program and then decides, who within their organization would benefit from the work. But it's fantastic for team collaboration. It's fantastic for two teams from various departments, or when corporations merge. It's fantastic for that. It's great for startups. It's great for any team that does any innovation, creativity work, because although the main focus is to find your authentic self and your sense of purpose, we work with empathy. We work with collaboration. These are all virtues, creativity, and also what to do when how to deal with stressors in life to reduce anxiety so that your creativity can emerge. So the outcome is really beautiful for teams, for for any department, really. If they're for sales, it's great for sales, because empathy as a virtue is one of the first steps in anything we do, really, and that includes leadership. And most of us aren't, though we are hardwired with empathy, we really need training in it, because we sometimes miss it, miss the tone, So there's a huge distinction between pitying somebody, feeling sympathetic, versus being empathetic and compassionate. So those are huge distinctions that we draw, and we really make it clear to the participants so that when they leave, their true empathy shows up.
Yeah, that's something. Because it's I can imagine that is really it's pretty special when you get people that do that, and they've spent the time and they've gone through it, and what comes out the other side. So do you think that as they complete this process, that they're able to then work more effectively, and they get they're more creative, get more things done? What do you really see when a team goes through this exercise?
Well, when teams go through the exercise, they become more effective. Their performance goes through the roof, their productivity, everything else falls into place. And as far as leaders that go through the process, same thing. I mean, it just really takes your performance and achievement to the next level, because you're getting rid of the barriers that stop you from your excellence. In the process, in the 12-week process, we get rid of all the stuff that we really don't need, clear the way for your genius, for your excellence to really shine through. So really, I mean, the benefits are immense, and it's hard work, but it's worth it. It's intense, 12-week program. It's a 7-week course online, and then there's 5 weeks of coaching, because we want each person to really be succinct about who their authentic self is and what their purpose is, and how to live their lives powerfully through that expression. It's incredible. They become better leaders. They become more profitable. They become everything gets better. And also it helps. We've been also hearing from participants who haven't talked to their family members in 10 years, who had difficulty with their best friend, hadn't talked to their best friend in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And they're able to rekindle those relationships, which really it's amazing. That's what life is all about, for us to realize those who are important to us and reconnecting with them.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things that you mentioned there that I want to ask a couple more questions about is when you talk about someone finding their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me kind of an example of someone that not someone in a fictitious person finding their purpose? What does that mean?
That means first, I mean, it's different for everyone.
Yeah,
of course, everybody's purpose is different. But people are forever looking for their purpose. It's just like, to me, it's somebody looking for their happiness. Those are not things that you should look for. Those are things that will come to you, that will occur to you when you have a healthy relationship with your ego, healthy relationship with your identity. And so the outcome for a lot of people for some of the people, so I'll give you an example of one of the people who just went through the work. He's a high-level executive. He has gone through other authenticity tracks, but he has found that his passion is making meaningful connections throughout his network, connecting people with other people. And so he's leading that. He's starting in networking. He's just, among other things that he's working on, he's founded an international connection type of a network with high-level executives, and also sponsoring kids from various communities to sponsor them and getting them into the community so that they can be connected with the right people once they graduate from university. So this was his purpose, and it was really a very important part of his process, and now he's forming a non-for-profit. He's going to take it global. So it just went from him wanting to really work on himself and crystallize that his sense of purpose and authenticity, and figuring out that this is really what he wanted to do. He's a people person. He's been a high-level executive in corporate America for 25 years, and now he's doing this, which is wonderful.
Yeah, that is when people can get it all together. I think you're right there. Purpose is not something that you find; it kind of finds you.
Yep, exactly. And same with happiness.
Yeah. Well, it is. It is. It finds you, and it doesn't come without work. That's the other thing. There's someone that I've actually interviewed him a while ago. It's Danny Shannon, the gratitude maker. I mean, an example of someone that's overcome a ton of challenges, but you see them, and you're not happy all the time. But if you really focus on the good things that are in your life, it makes such a huge difference. And that happiness does come, and it is there. Most people, it's right there. It's right there. And you have two different ways of looking at it. And if you look at it the wrong way, you're never going to be happy at it, but it's right there.
Exactly.
Right there. Hey, why don't you look this direction? Because it's right there.
Exactly, Damon. Exactly. And mostly it's when you're in service to others.
Yeah.
That's when you're adding value to people, and when you're doing something meaningful, touching people's lives, is when you get touched yourself, and it just brings joy to you.
Yes. I was telling that to somebody this morning. They're someone I've known for a while now, and they're kind of realigning their life, and I said, if there's anything that I know, that if you just start helping people, it'll come back, double or whatever number, but it feeds you. It gives you this energy, because I was explaining to them, hell, I'm not young anymore, but I got more energy today to do what I want to do, and I am finding my purpose than I ever did when I wasn't connecting with people and helping them like I am now.
Exactly. It's like soul food. It's like soul food. You just get so, it just adds vitality to you. It just, it just really gets you up in the morning, and you know what you got to do, that power of intention, and you're more intention driven, you're more purpose driven. It's amazing. Yep.
Yeah, so good. So good. Well, it's awesome to talk to you about this. And what have I not asked you that we should talk about? I mean,
well, you did a very good job of asking some really good questions. I don't know. I mean, this is something that I think people would love and enjoy, and especially now. I
mean, it is. I mean, to me, this is something that these are the basics that if you really got, I mean, it would help the other things that are, is get the foundation right, and you can, the building will be there for 100 years kind of thing. And you come back and get the foundation right, and you're going to be able to deal with these things much better.
Precisely. That's actually one of the metaphors I use, is that, we've, in our society, what we've done is we've built these enormous, wonderful buildings on 2,000 square foot foundations.
Yeah.
And so we gotta start over and really start with these foundational important work first, and then anything else can be built upon it.
Yeah. Well, that's so great, Kathy. And now, Kathy, if someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to do that?
The best way is our email, our info email, info@thinkvirtues.com.
Okay. Info@thinkvirtues.com.
Yes, our website is www.thinkvirtues.com. They can find more information on all of our lanes there. But yeah, if they have any questions, somebody from our team will get in touch with them.
Very good. Well, we will have that in the show notes, and we'll have it on YouTube and everything when this is up, so people can get that. But, Kathy, I just wanted to thank you for stopping by today. And I think this is helping children the way you are with Think Virtues, and the power of authenticity for leaders and teams, I think is so appropriate in the rapidly changing, and evolving time that we're living in now. But thanks so much for stopping by and talking with us today.
Damon, thank you so much. It's been an honor and pleasure to be with you, and lots of love to you.
Have a great evening. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.